Hey nerds, welcome to JerAwards. Today we're going to do our Season 3 recap of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Eyes are a little bloodshot, took my glasses off, I don't know which way's what, but we're coming into Season 4 here soon, wrapping up Season 3 with this. Season 4 is going to change a lot of stuff. We'll talk about an update to the schedule in just a second. Going from Season 2 into Season 3 has been incredible. A lot of the times the third or fourth season is typically the best season for a lot of shows. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this season, we saw it with the Vampire Diaries. We saw it with the originals. We saw it with Legacies with the last season. We saw it with, even though it was just a couple seasons, the last season of Shadowhunters with Lucifer. All of these shows have incredible third or fourth seasons. And with this show kind of predating all of those, I had a lot of expectations for Season 3, and I have a lot of expectations for Season 4. Some have been met with Season 3, some weren't. So before we dive into a recap of Season 3, my nose itches like crazy in case you can't tell. But our upcoming fourth season, things are going to change on the channel just a smidge. I'll put out a text post about this as well. But we're going to do two shows at once. That being Buffy and obviously Angel, like we've talked about here previously. So how's it going to work? Essentially, Monday, you guys are going to have Season 4, Episode 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer entitled The Freshman. Tuesday, you're going to have Season 1, Episode 1 of Angel, entitled, I think, The City of, right? The City of Angels. And we're going to go in that order. I have a watch order that I found on Reddit of how to watch Buffy and Angel. So there's going to be, unless there's episodes that need to be 3 episodes in a row of Buffy and then 4 episodes in a row of Angel and vice versa, I'm going to watch based on that. So for the coming week, you guys are going to have a little schedule. If it's something where you would like a schedule to see what's coming out for the week, if you want to see what days are Buffy and what days are Angel, if enough people would like something like that, I will put that on YouTube here. Or I could also just throw it into Discord, which I haven't used a whole bunch, or the other social media accounts that I'm trying to find my groove for, and we can go from there. So yeah, it will be Buffy, Angel, or if the schedule tells me Buffy, Angel, Buffy, that's what we're going to do. So 2 shows at once. It's going to drag out Buffy a little longer. It's going to increase the length of the shows we watch this year. I haven't made a schedule yet, so I don't know if we're going to get to another show this year at all outside of those. But I'm working on some extra side shows and stuff for you guys for later in the year. So we're going to kind of take our time. Slow and steady wins the race. And we'll go from there, obviously sprinkling in tributes. Right now, just kind of on Wednesdays and Sundays. But that's not why you're here. You're here for the recap of Season 3 of Buffy. So again, high expectations for Season 3. Coming off the heels of a grandiose Season 2, right, with so many beautiful characters introduced, with so many betrayals and just kind of things being twisted. Things being twisted and flipped on its head, and you never really knew who the bad guy was in the season, and it just ends up keeping you on your toes. It had a phenomenal ending, an emotional ending, and it made you excited for Season 3. Season 3 of Buffy starts off really, really, really strong. Like, really strong. And it has a lot of strong episodes. I just think that the setup for it was too big for its britches. I think the setup for where it could have gone or should have gone doesn't have necessarily the payoff. And I mean that strictly with just talking about the finale of Season 3. When we get to our favorite episodes here in a second for the JerAwards, you'll see what I mean. But we get Buffy here in a different city. She's out in Los Angeles. She's living on her own. She's going by the name of Anne. She runs into a former vampire cult member, kind of gets her wits about her before regrouping with everybody, regrouping with the entire Scooby Gang. We get introduced with Mr. Trick, Scott Hope. We get introduced to Faith, played by Elijah Dushku, who I asked was going to be in this show because they were doing a cheerleader episode. And I was like, is her and Kirsten Dunst going to be in this? And so it's cool that she's here as Faith in Season 3. We get introduced to Mayor Wilkins, who was teased so much in Season 2. And we get a lovable villain who is really just wants the best for everybody, but at the same time, he wants people to do well and eat well so he can consume them and not eat trash in return. So that makes sense. Mayor Wilkins was a fucking hoot. I wish he was in more episodes. I wish Faith was in more episodes. Obviously, Oz and Willow go strong, But we do get to a point in the season that really kind of like the Lover's Walk, I think was the episode name. And that is where I think Spike's in that episode. That's where Willow and he captures Willow and Xander, who had been kind of seeing each other behind Oz and Cordelia's back after they smooched before a homecoming dance. This leads to Cordelia and Oz finding them making out with each other. They thought they were going to die. You can make excuses for it, but Willow cheating makes no sense. I could see Xander cheating. And we get the wish where they wish Buffy wasn't around. We get introduced to a vampire version of Xander, vampire version of Willow. We get all these great scenes with not really puzzle pieces to where the season could go other than Mayor Wilkins and Trick is the bad guy. Trick kind of felt like he was going to be the big bad. It seemed more like Principal Snyder was going to be in cahoots with Mayor Wilkins, which doesn't actually play out. And it leads us into, I think, Bad Girls, episode 14, where, Faith and Buffy are becoming good friends, and then Faith accidentally kills a human who's directly tied to Mayor Wilkins, and it leads her off the deep end and turns her into the opposite of what we called her with the Green Ranger. Just for some small Power Rangers lore, if you're unfamiliar, the Green Ranger's introduced around season 1, and he's an evil ranger. He's a bad guy. He's being controlled by Rita Repulsa, and then he flips over to the good guys. This is the opposite. She comes in as the brand new cool character. She is our Green Ranger, and by the end of it, she is the bad guy. And so it kind of seems like Faith is going to be manipulated and end up as our main villain, and that doesn't happen. We have a school shooting episode that was apparently delayed in real time due to Columbine. We get a crazy episode in Enemies where Faith is trying to have sex with Angel to steal his soul to get him on their side. And it all leads to the mayor consuming a bunch of spiders, ascending into a demon. And in doing so, he wants to eat Sunnydale while he's on top of this hellmouth. And it leads to them he just gets, plans get foiled by those meddling kids. He blows up. It feels a little anticlimactic compared to how cool everything else was, including the Faith and Buffy fight, which I feel like should have been, that could have just been your grand finale. Oz taking Willow back, Cordelia leaving the Scooby Gang and coming back to the Scooby Gang. We get the introduction of a new Watcher after Giles betrays Buffy, but then they end up making amends as well. There's a lot of bad things that happen in this season that are end up forgiven. It is a season of forgiveness, after all. It's really good. Like, season 3 is really, really, really good. Some of these episodes are fucking phenomenal. I just don't think the payoff was there. I'm really not a fan of the finale. I think Graduation Day Part 1 was really good and had a good setup. I just think the Ascension to the Monster, while it looked really cool for being in the 90s, wasn't as devastating as it could have been. And it's weird to say that because, like, Larry dies and Harmony dies and Principal Snyder dies and the school blows up and there are actual consequences. It just felt like worse should have happened, and Angel's on his way out, and the reason for Angel being on his way out is to go get his own show, so it doesn't really feel natural. Like, he breaks up with her in a sewer on a moment's notice before prom after talking with Buffy's mom, and then it just kind of happens, and then he's just gone, and it doesn't feel quite natural, especially after episode 7, the Christmas sort of episode, I think, which was Revelations, which was a beautiful episode, where Buffy and Angel get back together, and Faith is there for Christmas dinner, and she gets invited, and there's all these good things. I think there's a lot of positives in this season. I think it boils down to there needs to be more Faith. Needs to be more Faith in the season. She needs to be around more, be an official member, being the opening credits. And she kind of feels like the black sheep of this family. And that feels weird considering how cool she was. And I still think that there was something between Faith and Buffy. I think that there were definitely a lot of innuendos. Apparently, Joss Whedon didn't understand that he was writing the characters like that until after the show was over, from some of my insider information. And Buffy and Faith were supposed to smooch at one point, and it didn't happen. Too scared of a lesbian kiss in the 90s, people would have lost their shit. I think people would lose their shit now, honestly. The only people that don't are just perverted men, but they also hate gay people, and that doesn't really make sense. But we're not going to go on that tangent. We've done enough of that throughout the season. Season 3 was phenomenal. I don't know if I like it more than season 2, though. I think season 2 had a lot going on, and bounced around so much that I really, really, really enjoyed it. So that's my brief talk, my brief kind of recap of season 3. We now have the gang going off to new adventures. High school is over. They have graduated. They're going to college. Buffy, Willow, and Oz, I think, are all going to the same college. Cordelia is not going to college, apparently, because of her dad's tax evasions or tax issues. Xander is not going to college. He's going to go tour the world. That boy never had an education to begin with. And then Giles doesn't have a job anymore because the fucking school's blown up. So no telling where he'll go. You know, the trophy, Amy's mom was in that trophy case. Did she blow up with that? Is she dead? Or is she still in the trophy case? Jesus, they're murderers. Anyways, with that out of the way, we can get into the season 3 JerAwards for Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. Starting off with favorite episode. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of 22 episodes nominated. 7 episodes left behind. We have episode 1 and 3, Faith, Hope, and Trick. 4, Beauty and the Beast. 7, Revelations. 8, Lover's Walk. 9, The Wish. 10, Amends. Good 4-episode stretch there. 12, Gingerbread. 14, Bad Girls. 15, Consequences. 17, Enemies. 18, Earshot. 19, Choices. 20, Prom. 21, Graduation Day Part 1. Those are your nominees for favorite episode. I will tell you my least favorite episode of the season was episode 13, the Zeppo, which is a weird dividing thing amongst the community. Apparently some people love it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people also hate it. I get what they were doing. I understand the uniqueness about following a side character while the main shit was going on. They reopened the Hellmouth. They went through trauma, and we were there with Xander and what he does in this situation. And he does put his life on the line. But I think Xander's such a hot and cold character, and he says the thing other people are thinking sometimes. Sometimes he's just completely rude. I think the problem is Joss Whedon wrote Xander as Joss Whedon in high school. And he's what he wants to be. Xander's who Joss wants to be. And Joss is not some purveyor of good virtue. You can read any story about him. He's not a good guy, whether it was on the set of Buffy, whether it was on the set of the Justice League. There's also, I think, some scandals from the Avengers. He's just, and there's times where I really like Xander, and there's times where I really don't like him. And I think if this followed anybody else other than him, I think I would have loved the episode. Again, I don't hate Xander. I don't dislike Xander. I just don't think he ever learns from the things that happen to him. Because he is the interesting character. He is the Matt Donovan of this. He doesn't have superpowers. We have a Wiccan, a vampire, a Slayer, a Watcher, a werewolf, and then Xander. Cordelia is just kind of supposed to be like the pretty girl in the situation, but she's the damsel in distress. Xander's the donut guy. And there's not a lot of interest there for me. But for those people that said it was their favorite episode, don't ever let me take that away from you. I love that it's your favorite episode. It just wasn't for me. And that's why the difference of opinions plays a very cool factor, is we can have those open conversations. My favorite episode of season 3 is episode 17 in Enemies. It was episode 7 there for the longest with Revelations. I'm pretty sure that's the Christmas episode. But 17 in Enemies with the big kind of Faith is trying to sleep with Angel, and he turns her down, and then they get a fucking ninja guy to come cast a spell on him to take his soul away, and then his soul's gone, and he's making out with Faith, and he's teaming up with the mayor, and then all along, he was teaming up with Buffy. He never lost his soul. Giles hired the ninja man. Such a crazy twist. I don't know how that episode's not rated higher. Favorite episode for season 3 is episode 17. Enemies. There's some sort of Imagine Dragon song there. Favorite scene, season 3, episode 1, where she says, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. She calls herself what she is. Also from 3-1, Lily taking on the role of Anne. From 3-3, Faith's intro. From 3-5, Cordy talking shit to Gorch was his name. From 3-8, Giles talking to Buffy about her future in college. Spike going to talk to Joyce to get a little bit of some information and kind of just a therapy session. From 3-9, Willow Vampire. From 3-12, or Vampire Willow. From season 3, episode 12, Xander and Oz talking about kryptonite. From 3-16, Dark Willow licking Good Willow's neck. From 3-17, they revealed that Angel never lost his soul and played Faith. From 3-18, Buffy, talking down Jonathan when he was going to kill himself. From 3-20, Angel and Buffy dancing at prom. From 3-20, Buffy getting the Class Protector Award. And from 3-22, Buffy and Faith in the brain space talking to each other, and Faith kind of giving her the keys to the puzzle. I think that Buffy getting the Class Protector Award is a beautiful moment. It was almost a heartbreaking scene, but it wasn't heartbreaking as much as it was sentimental. And right as I was crying, I could hear the cats running up and down the steps, and now I'm focused on them a little bit through my headphones. And there was definitely emotions coming for that. It was going to be my favorite scene, but I still think the reveal that Angel never lost his soul from my favorite episode of 3-17 takes the cake for favorite scene. Most heartbreaking scene, your nominees. From 3-2, everyone ganging up on Buffy at the party. From 3-7, Giles telling Buffy she doesn't respect him. From 3-8, Oz and Cordy seeing Willow kissing Xander. From 3-8, Cordy telling Xander to leave her alone in the hospital. From 3-9, Cordy cutting up those photos of her and the Scooby Gang. The entire reality without Buffy in The Wish. From 3-10, Angel going to Giles for help. For 3-12, no one taking Buffy to the ice show. Also, Giles admitting to injecting Buffy in 3-12. From 3-20, Angel breaking up with Buffy in the sewer. 3-21, Buffy having to hurt Faith to save Angel. And from 3-22, Angel feeding off of Buffy. Oz and Cordy seeing Willow kissing Xander is earth-shattering for both of them, and then Cordy immediately getting hurt. But I think the most heartbreaking thing really was Giles admitting to injecting Buffy. Instead of just telling her the truth, it leads to her feeling like she has the ultimate betrayal on her hands with the father figure and the person she trusts the most hurting her and taking away her powers and leaving her vulnerable to injury and death on the day that she really needed a dad to take her to the ice show. I think that one hurt me the most. The funniest scene, Spike waking up with his hand being on fire in 3-8. Also, fake biting Joyce behind her back. From 3-16, everyone thinking Willow was dead until they interacted with her. And from 3-17, the miniature golf quote from Mayor Wilkins to Faith, which was unscripted and hilarious. There's a lot more. For some reason, they didn't save on my file here, but my funniest scene for me was Spike fake biting Joyce behind the neck while Angel was trying to get in the house. And he was just like, that's good stuff. Favorite quote, I'll have the winner here last. Mama Buffy talking to Snyder. But from 3-1, this is kin to Buffy. What is hell if not the total absence of hope? That's a bar. What is hell? That's your own personal hell. If you lose all hope, that's hell. Favorite kill nominees from season 3, episode 1, Buffy killing Ken. From 3-2, Buffy killing Pat with a shovel. Faith's first kill in 3-3. Angel killing Pete in 3-4. Buffy and Faith killing 2 vamps together in 3-7. The Lightning killing Miss Potts. I don't remember her name. Miss Pratt in 3-7. Willow killing a vampire with a pencil in 3-19. My favorite kill, it was Buffy and Faith doing the whole double kill back-to-back. That shit was sick. There wasn't a whole lot of deaths that were shocking or jaw-dropping outside of decent characters being killed in the finale, which still didn't make a whole lot of sense. It made sense to show that there was consequences, but I don't know. I didn't feel it. Favorite kiss, with the winner being last. From 3-1, Xander and Cordy. From 3-5, Buffy and Scott. From 3-6, Giles and Joyce. From 3-7, Buffy and Angel. And then from 3-21, my winner was Oz and Willow right before they finally did the deed. They consummated the relationship. They had the coitus. They had sex. Oz kind of calming her down in the looming face of the apocalypse. Felt like just a beautiful moment. And I think they deserve to have favorite kiss at some point anyways, because they're wholesome beings, which leads us into favorite ship nominees, with the winner being last. On-screen ships and my own personal head ships, we have Buffy and Willow, Buffy and Faith, Buffy and Angel, Giles and Joyce, Xander and Cordy. But your winner, again, back-to-back seasons, just because it makes the most sense, Willow and Oz. They broke up, they came back, they're wholesome, I love them. Favorite friendship nominees, Buffy and Willow, who's won the last 2 seasons, Buffy and Giles, Xander and Willow. And there's a bunch of other things mixed in here. I also have Giles and Wesley, even though they wasn't really friends, but it's still kind of funny. Also, worst kiss was definitely Cordelia and Wesley. Yeah, just so you know. Favorite friendship, though, actually goes to Buffy and Giles because of where they started, where they were in the middle after lying to her about injecting her, and how they recovered and really helped form their bond back. I think Buffy and Giles as a father-daughter friendship is absolutely beautiful. And the only reason it kind of beats it out over Buffy and Willow this season is because I don't feel like they were together as much as they were in the seasons past. Buffy was still there for her. Willow was still there for her. But it feels like they kind of had a little bit of, just different screen time, I guess. But Buffy and Giles, hell yeah. Most underrated character, Willow, who won won season 2. Giles wins again for the first time since season 1. Season 1 and season 3, I feel like Giles was most underrated just for his work behind the scenes, especially once he got canned from the council. Least favorite character this season, I think, was Balthazar, the blob guy, right? The one that had to be moistened. Favorite character nominees for this season. Hold on to your biscuits for this, all right? Buffy, the winner of season 1 and season 2. Willow, Giles, Xander, Oz, Cordelia, Angel, Faith, Mayor Wilkins, and Mr. Trick are your nominees for this season. That's 10 people. 10% chance of somebody winning this. Who do you think? Winner for favorite character for season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer is Faith. She needed more screen time. She should be a top tier character. She should be in more episodes. She should have been in the opening credits. Being a great villain, you can tell she still had some remorse. She didn't want to go down the path she went to. That's the only path she felt that she had because she felt betrayed, but she always had a spot in the Scooby Gang. She's a well-written character, and I hope she wakes up from her coma and we see her down the line. Faith, favorite character for season 3. Season names, if you need a recap here, season 1 was entitled Hellmouth with the vampire mastermind. Season 2 was Be Not Afraid. This was the introduction of Angel turning bad, introduction fully of Spike, Drew, and also having the judge. Season 3 we named Never Put Your Faith into the Government with Mayor Wilkins. How about that? Favorite season so far is still season 2. And then finale names. Finale for season 1 we called Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Finale for season 2 we said Goodnight, Sweet Prince. And for season 3 we titled it Xavier's Institute for the Young and Gifted, because the school blowing up. Season 2 is still my favorite finale. I think season 3 is my least favorite finale, but season 3 is my second favorite season, which is really tough because I really, really, really loved season number 1. For the dice statistics for the Patreon peeps, if you care, the number rolled for the finale was 20, 18, and 5, which equals the number 33. And then the most rolled was 10 and 19, both rolled 3 times. Highest number was 20, rolled once. Lowest was the number 3, rolled twice. Double digits beat single digits 15 to 9 or 63 to 37%. That was the same numbers for odds beating evens. There were no back-to-back rolls. No numbers matched the episodes. And numbers not rolled this season was 1, 2, 4, 6, 11, and 16. So there's your D20 statistics. Next up we have, one of our last things, is our in memorial. Our in loving memory to the following peeps. In loving memory, in loving piss, however you want to word it. Ricky, Andrew Holick, Ken, Pat, Ovu Mobani, the Happy Burger Guy, Dancer Man, Pizza Boy, Vampires Killed by Buffy and Faith, Kakistos, Jeff, Therapist Praft? I don't remember that. Debbie, Pete, Kulak, Candy, the German Bros, Lucronus, Lagos, Gwendolyn Post, Lenny, Cordelia in the Alternate World, Nancy, Alternate Angel, Vampire Xander, Vampire Willow, Alternate Buffy, Daniel, Margaret, Travis, Brandon Sanderson, Mr. Sanderson, Blair, Hobson, Zachary, Vampire Blair, Parker, Dicky, Bip Bob, Jack, Alan Finch, Balthazar, Vincent, Mr. Trick, Tux Boy, Lester Worth, Larry, Principal Snyder, Harmony, and I put Mary, Richard Wilkins, Mayor, Richard Wilkins, which leads us back to one more go around for Alan Finch, Mr. Trick, Larry, Principal Snyder, Harmony, and Mayor Wilkins. Rest in peace, rest in dirt, rest in piss, however you want to word it. That is our season 3 recap. Again, I think it was a good season. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it could have been a smidge better. There's a couple things you could change and incorporate. Not really too many, I don't want to say filler episodes. All the episodes felt like they had a lot of importance except for just a handful. The Zeppo had a lot of importance, but at the same time, I feel like Xander went back on some of the lessons he learned. Yeah, I think everything served a purpose. I just think for me, overall, season 2 is still the peak season, and I look forward to season 4. They're off in college. How is that going to affect them? Will there be new love interest for Buffy? Will she fall in love with another guy? Will she fall in love with a lady? Will Faith come back? How's Willow and Oz going to handle? Are they roommates in college? How's that going? Does Xander travel the world? Does Cordelia go to college? Does she end up with Xander? Because, they kind of walked away together. Where does she go from here? I think that's everybody. How does Joyce react to Buffy being away at college? How often will Angel interact with Buffy now that he's off to his own show? A lot of good questions, and I look forward to it. That's our season 3 recap. I'm pushing just 30 minutes in recording. Obviously, I haven't edited anything down yet. A lot of coughing, a couple weird burps in there. We'll cut those out for the sake of it, but I will go ahead and leave it here. Tomorrow is nothing, maybe a tribute, I think. And then Monday will be season 4, episode 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, entitled The Freshman. Tuesday will be season 1, episode 1 of Angel, entitled The City of. And I will see you guys there for those. I'm very excited to get started on it. I hope you keep enjoying, keep hanging out. I'll see you Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time for TV reactions at this point. Schedule hasn't changed yet. And see you Wednesday and Sundays for the most part for some tributes. All right, we'll leave it there. Stay cute, stay hydrated. I'll have links and everything in the description box down below. Playlist up on screen. I said that out of order. See you later.